Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we're doing something a little different. I always felt bad cutting cards from pre-constructed commander decks. Often, they're perfectly serviceable cards, they just don't quite fit with what the commander is trying to do. WotC always prints at least one alternate commander that we could use as well. So what I wanted to do with this video was create an upgrade for Urza's Iron Alliance, but then use the cards that we pulled from the deck to create a second commander deck. One that better fits what Tawnos' Solemn Survivor is trying to accomplish. Before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. YouTube tells me that only about 15% of people who watch my videos are subscribed. So please, if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Urza's Iron Alliance is a pretty solid pre-constructed deck. Led by Urza, the deck is trying to go wide with as many artifact creatures as possible, both tokens and non-tokens. You create a board full of creatures and smash your opponents in the face with them, which is reminiscent of Urza's strategy when he fought against his brother. And Urza, Chief Artificer, is the perfect commander for that plan. Urza Chief Artificer is a 6-mana 4/5 legendary human artificer with affinity for artifact creatures. He gives all artifact creatures we control menace. Additionally, at the beginning of our end step, we create a construct artifact creature token with power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts we control. The backup commander that comes with the precon is Tawnos' Solemn Survivor. He's a 2-mana 1/3 legendary human artificer with 2 activated abilities, both of which require tapping Tawnos. The first one, which also costs 2 generic mana, lets us create a token that's a copy of another artifact token we control. We then mill 2 cards. The second one costs 1 and Esper, as well as sacrificing 2 artifact tokens and exiling an artifact or creature card from our graveyard. If we do all of that, we then create a token that's a copy of the exiled card, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. But we can only activate that part as a sorcery. So Urza wants us to go wide, and Tawnos is more of a self-mill and sacrifice. Most of the precon seems to work better with Urza, so I decided to keep him as the commander. The cards we're going to cut from the precon work better with Tawnos at the head of the deck, so don't worry, those cards will see use. Additionally, we should be able to build both decks for under $200. That includes the price of the pre-constructed deck, as well as the singles we'll need to make the new deck. Now, I always recommend people buy their sealed product from their local game store. Without local game stores, many of us wouldn't have a place to play Magic. But not everyone is privileged enough to live near a local game store, and for that, there's Amazon. I've posted a link down below so you can order yourself a copy of Urza's Iron Alliance. While you're there, you should also look at getting a deck box as well as some sleeves to help protect your investment. But before we figure out what cards we should cut, let's compare the deck to our handy-dandy checklist. Urza's Iron Alliance comes out of the box with 36 lands and 11 pieces of ramp. A little lighter than I like to run, so we can probably make some improvements. You've also got 12 pieces of card advantage, but some of them will be moving over to the new Tawnos deck, so we'll need to keep those in mind as well. 9 pieces of interaction and 4 board wipes, so we're good there. We even have Graveyard Hate and some alternate win cons in Marionette Master and Thopter Spy Network. As far as cuts, I'd like to take Tawnos out and replace him with Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. This gives us more ramp and more damage that we can throw at our opponents, as well as some graveyard recursion. Next up, we'll be replacing Armix Filigree Thrasher with a Negate. It just doesn't feel right running a blue commander deck with no counterspells, and stopping an opponent's inopportune overloaded Vandal Blast seems like a good idea. We have enough board wipes, so Phyrexian Rebirth is going to become Mirrored and Besieged. I like the flexibility of this card. As late game it can become a win con, but early game it helps us with our board state. Chrome Courier, Skull Clamp, and Thopter Shop all seem like they'd work better with Tawnos, so they're all getting replaced with Phyrexian Metamorph, Moonsilver Key for more ramp, and Artificer's Epiphany for more card advantage. I've got a link to the 6 cards down below, so feel free to check it out. The total comes to just shy of $30. So far, with the precon included, we're at about $80, which leaves us a budget of about $120 for the new Tawnos deck. Let's get started. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Arcane Sanctum, Adarkar Wastes, Underground River, Caves of Koilos, Temple of Enlightenment, Temple of Deceit, Temple of Silence, Razortide Bridge, Mistfault Bridge, Goldmire Bridge, Azorius Guildgate, Dimir Guildgate, Orzhov Guildgate, Tranquil Cove, Dismal Backwater, Scoured Barrens, Bojuka Bog for Graveyard Hate, Myriad Landscape for Ramp, Evolving Wilds, and Terramorphic Expanse for color fixing, 4 plains, 7 islands, and 4 swamps. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Progress, Talisman of Dominance, Talisman of Hierarchy, Azorius Signet, Dimir Signet, Orzhov Signet, Marble Diamond, Sky Diamond, Charcoal Diamond, Mind Stone, Replicating Ring, Unwinding Clock, Isochron Scepter, and Dramatic Reversal. That's right, it's one of those decks. Chrome Courier, Skull Clamp, and Thopter Shop all come to us from the pre-con, but we've also got Urza Powerstone Prodigy, Trading Post, Thirst for Knowledge, Deadly Dispute, Thopter Spy Network, Emery Lurker of the Lock, Mystic Forge, Thoughtcast, Buried Alive, Thought Monitor, Reality Heist, and The Cruelty of Gix. Aramix Filigree Thrasher, Access Denied, Dispatch, Immovable Rod, Dam, Commit Memory, Negate, Vindicate, Fracture, Despark, and the Eldest Report make up our interaction package. Phyrexian Rebirth and Hour of Reckoning help us to reset the board as needed. Oswald Fiddlebender lets us find bigger artifacts while also filling our graveyard with artifacts that Tawnos can get back. Sai Master Thopterist helps with card draw and blockers. Master Transmuter can be used to protect an artifact while putting a bigger, scarier one on the battlefield. Thornbite Staff for combo shenanigans. Mirran Spy for the same reasons. Disciple of the Vault for extra damage. Thrawn Temporal Gateway to give our bigger artifacts flash. Phyrexian Processor as a potential win condition, along with Staff of Domination. Echo Storm is a card that I thought would be fun in this deck. Tezzeret Artifice Master for both card advantage and creating blockers. Magister Sphinx, Sharding Sphinx, Sphinx Summoner, Bronze Guardian, and Sphinx of the Wheel are all cards that we can easily discard and then bring back with Tawnos, and then start to make copies of. And Marionette Master as another obvious win condition. Finally, Hannah Ship's Navigator for some light graveyard recursion. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 51 mana sources split between 37 lanes and 14 pieces of ramp, plus an infinite combo. A little heavy, but if we're trying to activate Tawnos multiple times per turn and untap him multiple times per turn, it makes sense. 15 pieces of card advantage. Again, a little heavy, but we really need to churn through our deck, ramp a lot, and combo off if we're going to be at least middling power. 11 pieces of interaction, 2 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 3 sudden I win cards. So our deck checks all the boxes and comes in at just under $110, which means we can build both decks for under $200. That's 2 Esper Artifact decks, both of which play very differently, for under $200. Which one is your favorite? Did I miss any cards that you think are key to victory with Tawnos? If you could add cards, which would you add and which would you cut? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to Matter to Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Jiraiya, Waffles, Muffins, Casey, Nick, Marcus, Black Dragon, Phoenix Device, Daniel, Kyo, Squishy, and RGC. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.